All right, so hello everyone. Happy Friday. Nick Marro here with Smitty and Occupy Fantasy, as always, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Another Friday slate, which means it is the NBA Cup. Teams are a bit less urgent pulling their guys out in blowouts. Point differential does matter for a few of these teams. On DK, we have a 7 gamer. FanDuel, we got a 9 gamer. Smitty, what's your initial take so far on the slate?
Yeah, looks like a really good slate. And then that news kind of gave us some value on DK, so like it even better there now. But overall, good slate on both sides.
Yep, we got Ben here. Appreciate you, Heath, Luke, Greg. I think it's Luke. For some reason, it's showing me your screen names today, guys, instead of your names. But appreciate it. We got Swerve here, Mister Ya Boy, with the new at. But yeah, guys, we'll get to all these questions for sure. We already got some pretty good ones coming in. But as always, we're going to go through game by game, kind of break things down that way. Try to get your questions in when we're speaking about that game. Obviously, we got a bunch of Wizard stuff coming in. Second game on the slate. We'll definitely get to all of those. Before that, though, we do have one game at 7 o'clock Eastern between the Pacers and the Cavs. Cavs big favorites at home. They're going to be getting Darius Garland back tonight. Sounds like Jalen Tyson will be in as well. Let's start at Indy, though, just because they are the road team here. Tyrese Halliburton still out. No Quentin Jackson. Aaron Naismith and Obi Toppin are going to be out as well. Benedict Matherin's been back. He's been playing pretty well. About priced where he should be on FanDuel. Reasonably priced over on DK. What will the front court rotation look like? I'm not sure. Huff's been playing pretty good minutes. I don't know that we need to go here, especially with some of the value we have opening up. Really tough matchup too against Cleveland. You can make a case for maybe Nemhard, or Matherin, but other than that, just not much from Indy. I'm liking it all, Smitty here. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. The only player I'm getting to right now is Matherin. Not a great matchup, like you said, but the price is still pretty cheap. The minutes are coming up, so I don't mind taking shots there. But other than that, really nobody I'm interested in.
Yep, right there with you, man. Maybe we will have a little bit more interest in Cleveland here, but again, they are getting a bit healthier than they have been with guys like Garland coming back. Max Struess and Sam Merrill are going to still be out. Jared Allen's actually listed as questionable. That one's interesting. Would see a boost probably to Mobley playing more minutes at the 5 if he were to sit. But as it stands right now, man, I mean, Jalen Tyson getting a lot of love. He's been playing pretty well, but not something I'm really rushing to get to. And again, this team's getting healthy here. It is a good matchup. Obviously, some blowout risk, even in the NBA Cup game. So the Cavs are fine here. I don't mind Mitchell, don't mind Mobley. Really nothing I could sit and recommend, though, with any sort of confidence. How about you when it comes to Cleveland?
Pretty much the same. I think Mitchell's pretty good. He's always in play. Really good matchup if this game does stay competitive. So interested in Mitchell, but other than that, I'm not really interested in anybody else.
Yep, right there with you. HB here. Garland and Tyson will have minutes limit. That is true. Not playing either of them. Again, Mitchell Mobley, I guess you can mix in, but nothing we're really prioritizing from that one. All right, through the first game, now we get interesting, right? We got this game here between the Wizards and the Toronto Raptors. 7:30 o'clock. 7:30 o'clock. What the hell am I saying? 7:30 Eastern. We got the Wizards on the road. Big underdogs. 238.5 point total. No Marvin Bagley, no Alex Sarr, who I actually thought would be back today. So they are very thin in the front court. So what does that mean? We're probably going to see Tristan Vukcevic getting the start here at center. He is min priced over on FanDuel, just 3,200 over on DK. Center only, but again, on a slate where we're kind of lacking value, he does make some sense. Probably plays into the fourth quarter as well, regardless of blowout. We have him for 22 minutes right now. Can see that climbing even a little bit more. Other than that, man, it's tough. Like Kaishan George looks okay. We've seen McCollum have a few big games. Koulibaly, now that his minutes are up, seems like a half decent play. We're getting questions about Cam Whitmore. I mean, in a blowout, I guess he could maybe get there. He has been shooting the ball really well, even in limited minutes. I don't really feel great about anything here other than Vukcevic. I do imagine he's going to climb up in the model in terms of OF index and ownership. Definitely something to keep an eye on. But Smitty, kind of break down these Wizards right now. Not the worst matchup, but at the same time, not a great one. And this team, I mean, the rotations are pretty deep other than what they have at center.
Yeah, I really like Vuk at center. He's going to be in pretty much everything I do on DraftKings and high consideration on FanDuel as well. And then Kaishan George, I really like. Going to be getting to quite a bit of him. Assuming this game stays close and we get his 33 minutes, 32 minutes, somewhere in that range, he looks really solid. So interested in both of them. And then also, I think Koulibaly is also interesting, where we get somewhat of a cheaper price on DraftKings. But other than that, not a whole lot of interest. It's mainly just Kaishan George and then Tristan Vukovic.
Yeah, Koulibaly does feel a little underpriced. Just to pull up Heath's question here quickly, any love for Cam Whitmore? Again, he's been shooting the ball well, but we only have him for 21 minutes. It's kind of tough to trust.
Yeah, he has been playing more minutes, but on this slate, probably not.
Yeah, we get enough of other options to choose from. So probably not tonight, Heath. If you got a gut feeling though, wouldn't try to talk you off of it. Over on the Toronto side of things, really nothing too significant other than Colin Murray Boyles, who's going to be out. Other than that, just G Leaguers listed on this injury report. This team is pretty healthy comparatively speaking to the rest of the slate. As is always the case, I mean, you could get to Barnes. It is a good matchup. I mean, Barrett's fine. Before we got the Vuk news, and still, honestly, Podol looks excellent here. I think he's too cheap over on DK. We have him for 30 minutes. If he plays 30 minutes, he's probably going to hit value pretty easily, especially in this matchup now with no Sar or Bagley. Quickly's been excellent, taking more shots as usage has come up. But again, it's always tough picking between Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly. I think you could add Ingram into that group as well, even though he's a tier below for me, just because he's a bit more scoring dependent. Podol I do still like, but yeah, man, I don't know. I think he's a bit overowned, but I do think we see these ownerships come down a little bit. Toronto, tough to get away from, but is there one place standing out to you over the others? Is there anyone you're prioritizing from this group? It seems like they're all projecting decent, but close together. It makes it kind of difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I was getting to a lot more Pirtle before the news. Now I'm still getting to quite a bit, but not as much as the field is currently. But out of the rest of them, it's mainly Quickly and Barnes that I'm getting to on DraftKings, and then FanDuel you have Barrett that's just underpriced there. I like Barnes and Quickly the most. They're the easiest for me to get to on DraftKings, and then Pirtle still looks pretty good. You could go both centers in this game and save a lot of salary.
Yeah. Yep. Just coming off mute. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Honestly, both centers do look good here. We did get a question from HB Card saying, "Who gets the center minutes for Washington if we only have Vooch going for 20?" I think we have him for 22 right now. I actually think that number could come up. This is a gross name that I'm going to bring up here, but I think Anthony Gill is with the team. He's probably the guy who's going to be playing some backup five tonight. Not a great fantasy producer, I will say, and yeah, just not something you necessarily need to be targeting at all. Other than that, I mean, they don't really have anyone huge on this team that can play the five. Like, yeah, maybe Vukcevic is under projected. Honestly, I think we could maybe see him closer to 30 minutes. Smitty, how do you see that front court rotation going?
Yeah, I have Vuk at 27 minutes, and then Gill kind of getting some backup five, and then I also think Kaishan George could play a little bit of backup five, which is why I like him a little bit more. One of the few big bodies they have
Yeah, yep, that makes sense
left,
to
I know,
me.
but
Yeah. I think you just dropped out for a second. It might have been my internet. Either way, we are good to go. We get another game here in the 7:30 window. My wonderful Nets taking on the Celtics here in Boston. Very wide spread, 222.5 point total. Blowout risk is going to be a concern. Boston's been fine. I mean, we could get to Brown, White, Pritchard kind of the same way we described Toronto. They have good plays. It's just who stands out over the others. I don't really know that there is one. I think Brown has probably the highest floor. Derek White, point per dollar, looks solid, as does Pritchard. I can't really say one guy's a priority, though, when it comes to Boston. Smitty, how you feeling about the Celtics here hosting the Nets?
yeah, pretty tough for me to prioritize anyone. I think White and Pritchard and Brown all look pretty solid, and also Kata is at least in play. But I'm getting to White the most on DraftKings, and then FanDuel it's probably close to the same.
Yep. Over on the net side of things, Haywood Highsmith still out. Saraf, Cam Thomas, Danny Wolf with the G League. Nothing too significant there. Michael Porter Jr. is taking all of the shots for this team with Cam Thomas out. We can expect that to continue. He did have 43 fantasy points in the same matchup last time out So yeah, I think if there's anything you're playing from the Nets, probably is Michael Porter. Obviously, Claxton, if this game stays competitive, could put up a decent score. I just think with the value we have opening at center and just the size of the slate in general, he's kind of difficult to get to. Clowney's had a few decent games. You could say the same for Igor. The minutes for him haven't really been there though. It's really Michael Porter or bust for me here. That's probably it, Smee. Is there any other nets you're getting to, and are you getting to MPJ yourself?
Mainly just MPJ. Right now, I'm like 2x the field on MPJ, and I feel pretty good about it. Just a high ceiling guy, limited ownership, I'm not worried about Boston's defense. The only issue is, like you mentioned, the low total. When we have so many high total games on the slate, prioritizing MPJ makes it kind of tough, but still have interest.
Yep, right there with you, man. I think he's a good play, maybe not a great one. But yeah, maybe we'll find some great ones here. We got the Miami Heat taking on the Chicago Bulls. This is the first game on the slate we've talked through so far with a close spread, and it also happens to have one of the highest totals. So we always get the question, is there a game we should target? I mean, we're not huge into game stacking on bigger slates, but I would say maybe this Miami Bulls game is a game to get some exposure to. Starting on the Miami side of things, the big piece of news here is no Andrew Wiggins. Still no Terry Rozier. Obviously, Jovic is out, as is Tyler Hero. But with Wiggins out, I mean, he's been taking up a lot of usage. We're going to see that trickle down to guys like Norm Powell, Jaime Jaquez, whether he starts or not. Those guys look excellent here. A few extra shots for someone like Davion Mitchell could go a long way. Chuck, big Pele Larson fan. Today might be the day to get to him. Seems like the field is getting there. He's pretty popular, maybe a bit over-owned, but at the same time, on a slate we're lacking value, I do think he makes a lot of sense. Fontecchio, good spacer off the bench, super scoring dependent. You could kind of use him as a last piece in. Then even Drew Smith, I guess, off the bench, getting some love as well here. It's just not the deepest rotation. It is a good matchup. This game should be competitive. I think the safest play is probably Powell, followed by Jaquez. Don't mind a little bit of Bam, but at the same time, I don't know that I'm rushing to get to him. Smitty, how you feeling about Miami here? I mean, a lot of these guys are projecting for very high ownership.
Yeah, this rotation should be really tight. So I get it on Larson. I think Larson's good. I'm not really getting to Drew Smith. Vukovic kind of took that place of Drew Smith for me. Norm Powell, Jaime Jaquez, I think, are pretty good. And then also Fontecchio. You're just going to hope he makes his threes. That's kind of my only issue with him. He does a little bit more sometimes, but to me, he feels the most shaky. Like I feel best about Larson, of course, and then Norm Powell. And then Davion Mitchell's not getting, or he's getting quite a bit of ownership, but I think he's fine on both sides as well.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Again, I think Powell's definitely the safest, followed by Jaquez. I mean, Larson's safer than Fontecchio. The model loves Fontecchio today, though. It's kind of crazy. Again, his threes need to fall. They could, though. He is a good shooter. This is not a bad matchup in terms of the opposing defense. Talking about that defense, we got the Bulls here. Trey Jones is listed as questionable. Kobe White is questionable as well. Jalen Smith is probable. Nothing else too significant to talk through. No Zach Collins. He's going to be out for a while, I think. But as more of these guys get ruled out, obviously Josh Giddey is going to have to do more and more. There are several good guards to pay up for on this slate. I will say Giddey is certainly one of them. After him, it gets difficult. Like I would love to get to more Bulls here, but at the same time, it's just they're all kind of priced where they should be, especially if White's going to be back. Obviously, cuts into the usage of some of the secondary options. I do like Giddey. I'm fine getting to some Vooch as well. On FanDuel, 7,100 does feel too cheap. It's just that center position is extremely useful tonight, especially if you're looking for value. But yeah, Giddy, some Vooch. That's probably it for me, though, man. Maybe I'm missing something here. Are you getting too many Bulls?
It's mainly Giddy for me. I do think Vooch is at least in play. He's pretty decent. And then Kobe White, if he does start, I'll assume the minutes cap is kind of up, which he played 30 last game. And this is a pretty important game. So you could see even in his minutes, like if he plays 28, they're going to be really valuable minutes with how fast this game's going to be played. So I actually have some interest in Kobe White at no ownership, even with a minutes limit.
Yeah, yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. And if we do get word that Trey Jones and Kobe White are out, you could maybe look to some Ao Donsumu and or Kevin Herter. So again, just keep an eye on that situation. But moving into the 8:30 window now, and then guys, I will take a look at questions, so feel free to get those in. I just try to rip through these games, so we got time on the back end today. But we got the Pelicans here taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Another game with a pretty tight spread, 234.5 point total. Starting on the New Orleans side of things, Zion not on the injury report at all, which is a little bit surprising. No Jordan Poole or DeJounte Murray or Carlo Matkovic. But again, Zion's going to be back here. How many minutes do we expect? I don't know. We have him for just under 30. I think at his price, he is playable, but tough to call him a priority there unless he's getting extended run. Derek Queen has been outstanding. It sounds like he has taken over as the starting center here over Eves Missy. I think that continues. And the good news for people who want to play Queen tonight is he does have forward eligibility on both sides. So I think he's very easy to get to. This is a good matchup for him. You can mix in Trey Murphy. I don't mind Fears, not really a priority. It's mostly Derek Queen here for me, though. The field is getting there, Smitty. How you feeling about the Pelicans?
Yeah, I'm playing a ton of Queen on both sides. I think he's a good play. A really good matchup against Dallas as well. So Queen for me, power forward eligibility is big, and then also Trey Murphy I think is a pretty decent GPP play against a weak Dallas defense. As for the rest, more so just GPP plays. I'm not really getting to anybody besides Queen and Murphy.
Yeah, with Zion coming back, these other guys do feel a little bit overpriced. Over on the Dallas side of things, no Anthony Davis, no Dante Exum. Cooper Flag is in. D'Angelo Russell is questionable. That is significant. If he were to sit, obviously we could probably count on the minutes for Brandon Williams a little bit more. This backcourt rotation's been a mess. Like kids going with the hot hand. So if Williams comes out, he's playing well. He'll let him play 30 plus minutes. If not, we see more out of D'Angelo Russell. So both of these guys are tournament viable plays, but they're definitely high risk options given the volatility in those minutes. PJ Washington, probably the safest option here, reasonably priced, especially on FanDuel at 6,600. I think he looks good. This is a plus matchup. Cooper Flag, I'm a big fan of the kid. Would feel better, honestly, if D'Lo's in because it means he's on the floor with the point guard for the most part. Jason Kidd, when he had him kind of running the point, just wasn't great for fantasy production. But tonight, in this particular matchup, as long as he's starting next to a point guard, I don't mind mixing him in at the same time. Not really something I'm prioritizing. If there's anything for me here, Smitty, it's probably PJ. I will say I had a buddy just text me, is tonight the Najee Marshall revenge game? I said, probably not, but go for it, man. And then we also have Max Christie, who's been shooting the ball well. If you're looking for like last piece in type plays, I do think Christie and Marshall are viable, but not much here for me, man, outside of PJ Washington. It is a high total in a competitive game, though. Probably shouldn't be overlooking the Mavs. How you feeling about this team?
Yeah, I'm playing as if D'Lo's out, so I'm starting with a little bit of Brandon Williams. If that gets confirmed, I'll probably play a little bit more. You mentioned PJ Washington. I think he looks good on both sides. And then, as well as Cooper Flags, at least in play, but prefer PJ at his price. And then Najee, you mentioned him. I don't hate it on FanDuel if we get D'Lo out. I think he could play pretty decent minutes. So I do have some interest in him on FanDuel. DraftKings, a little bit harder to get there, but yeah, it's mainly PJ Washington and Brandon Williams for me.
Yeah. We did have one question here from Luke. He said, is Hawkins supposed to be starting? He's too expensive on FanDuel if he's not. I think he's going to start here because Jovic is out as well as Wiggins. But if he doesn't, he's going to see all the usage with that second unit. He's going to be in the closing lineup as well. So I do think Hawkins is viable. I think Powell's safer, but I would not be shying away from Hawkins regardless of whether he starts or not. Smitty, do you have the same take, or how do you feel about that situation in Miami?
I don't think he starts, but really that's not important. That just means he's going to be out there with guys with less usage because he's still going to close. So I think his minutes are more valuable coming off the bench. I'd almost prefer it that way. But I think Fontecchio starts, but I don't know. With Spo, you're playing a guessing game.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, they could go where next to Bam. They could get Fontecchio in there. We could even see Drew Smith. There's a lot of different ways they could go. But again, regardless, I think Hawkins is a good play, even at the expensive price tag. Hopefully, that keeps the ownership down. Definitely more of a tournament play, though. Moving into the 9 o'clock window now. Again, these games are still on both sites. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Phoenix Suns. Timberwolves are slight favorites on the road here, 231.5 point total. Starting on Minnesota, Jaden McDaniels is questionable. That's kind of significant. I mean, Nas Reed has been going off like in a huge, huge way. No one seems to be getting there tonight. I will say I feel safer getting to Nas Reed if we do get word that McDaniels is out. But I think regardless, man, he's under owned. He's still sub 6K, still has forward eligibility. A little bit surprised he's not more popular than he is. Model doesn't love him, but at the same time, he's definitely been as good as he's ever been. I mean, when he's on the floor last two games, 32+% usage. That's absolutely insane. Probably my favorite play here from Minnesota. I think Ant Edwards, you could pay up for him. Again, there's just a lot of good guards in that range. I don't know that he stands out ahead of any others. Julius Randle's fine. Feels a bit overpriced to me. Gobert's been playing better lately. Not really interested in the point guards and DiVincenzo or Conley. It's mostly Nas here for me, man. Mixing some Edwards, maybe some Gobert. But how you feeling about the Timberwolves on the road?
Well, you made me feel a lot better about my Nas exposure. I'm like 8x the field on Nas, and I feel pretty
Nice.
good about it. Like these past few games where he's been chalk, I've been kind of getting away. But now that no one wants to play him, and he's basically the same price, I'm playing a lot of him. I think he looks good. This game environment's pretty good in general. Get into a little bit of Jaden McDaniels, assuming he plays, and then some Julius Randle mixed in. But Nas is my favorite play from the Timberwolves.
Love to hear it, man. And yeah, I'm with you. And even with McDaniels in, I mean, he's gone for 40 plus two the last three games with McDaniels starting. So totally fine with that. Over on the Phoenix side of things, no Grayson Allen, no Jalen Green. Other than that, this team's pretty healthy. Obviously, those are two guys who do demand a lot of usage, though. Devin Booker, another guard to just add to that list. Good play. Not sure he stands out. Dylan Brooks, definitely too cheap on FanDuel. Guy's been taking a ton of shots. With Allen out, could be taking even more here. I think he looks fine on both sites. Then we got this kind of crowded backcourt rotation. I mean, Gillespie's been playing excellent. I think you can mix him in. Goodwin capped around 22 minutes, but he does serve a purpose as value on a slate like this because he does have some upside. He's been consistently hitting value where he's priced. If you really need it, Ryan Dunn, I'd be ranking him behind Goodwin and Gillespie, though. More interested in the value here than anything else. I do like Brooks. I don't mind some Booker. Smitty, how you feeling about Phoenix?
Yeah, I think Booker's pretty good. Goodwin on FanDuel looks like a really good GPP play. And then Gillespie's kind of getting all the ownership there, but I still think he's pretty solid. Um,
Mhm.
After that, yeah, Dylan Brooks on FanDuel looks good. I even have a little bit on DraftKings. I think he's at least playable. You just got to hope he makes his 30 shots he takes.
Yep, yep. Hopefully they're falling here tonight. Moving into the 9:30 window now, we have the Denver Nuggets on the road taking on the Houston Rockets. Rockets are favored, 235 and a half point total, starting with Denver. Christian Brown's out. Aaron Gordon is probable. He should be in. Strother's out, so nothing too significant here. Jokic is Jokic, man. I mean, if we take off the tags for teams, look at the entire slate. He is 3 points higher in OF index than any other play on the board, and he is only 3% owned. If you can get to some Jokic in tournaments, even in a tough matchup, it's probably a good thing to do. Jamal Murray's been playing excellent. Again, kind of overpriced, relatively speaking, to some of the other guards here. But if no one's going to roster him, I do think in a competitive game he makes some sense. Those are really the only two I have much interest in here. But I do think they're kind of crazy underowned. I know Houston has a good defense, but this game should be competitive, high enough total. Smitty, are you getting some Murray Jokic, or how are you feeling about Denver as a whole?
Yeah, I'm getting to. I have 20% Jokic right now on DraftKings. Feel pretty good about it.
Nice.
This game's really important. So this is a game where you could see a big Jokic game, hopefully. And then and then I have a little bit of Aaron Gordon. I'm not really getting to Murray. I think the matchup's a little bit tougher for him, but I'm getting to Jokic, and I have a little bit of Aaron Gordon. Other than that, I'm not really getting to any Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are looking at what Houston's done against Denver, and they've done a little bit of a better job compared to other teams containing him, but it's such a small sample of data. I just think people are kind of overcorrecting there. Again, top play in the model by a decent margin ahead of SGA. Over on the Houston side of things, Steven Adams is questionable, drawing decent ownership. I mean, Adams is as tough as anyone. I do think he's going to go here. Tari Eason's still out, as is Dorian Finney-Smith. Jabari Smith is questionable here as well, which is significant because, I don't know, maybe Okogie slides in. Not that we want to be playing Okogie. But again, another tough matchup, but a team I do want to get to. I think before we had the Vucevic news, Adams was a little bit more appealing. I do think he goes here. They're going to need him on the floor against Joker. Sengun at low ownership, always fine in tournaments. My favorite play here is probably Reed Shepard coming off the bench. Just been playing a ton of minutes, shooting the ball a lot. I don't feel as good about him on FanDuel, where his price is now over 5K. But on DK, 4,800, I do think he's interesting as a low-owned tournament flyer. Obviously, KD and Thompson look good here as well. Again, it's not a team drawing much ownership outside of the centers. Smitty, how do you feel about Houston?
Yeah. Well, you made me feel better again. I like Reed Shepard on DraftKings. I think he's a good play. No Tari Eason, we've seen consistently 26 plus minutes here. So I think Reed Shepard's actually a really good play, and he's underowned. So getting to a lot of Reed Shepard. I think Steven Adams is okay if you get there, but I think Vukovic is a lot better. And then Sengun, I do like as well. I think Sengun looks good. And then KD, he's probably a little underowned in this kind of matchup where it's more like a grinded out type of game. It should be competitive. Those are when you want to roster KD, so I don't mind getting there. But currently, it's mainly Reed Shepard and some Sengun for me.
Nice, man. So yeah, we're both pulling for Reed and Reed tonight. We got Nas Reed and Reed Shepard. So big night for Reeds. We did just get some news. Jared Allen's going to be out. I don't know that it provides a huge boost to anyone with Garland coming back, but Mobley historically does score a little bit better with no Allen on the floor. I do expect him to start at the five. We probably see Dean Wade slide in at the four or Jalen Tyson get a start here again. So no value that I'm necessarily rushing to. Smitty, how do you feel about that situation there? I don't know that I'm changing too much as far as Cleveland goes with Jared Allen off the floor.
Yeah, Mobley will look a little bit better. He was kind of one of my bigger fades, so I'll have to see how that plays out now.
Yep, right there with you. All right, so we are through the DK slate. We got two more games to knock out here, then we will get to your questions. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Utah Jazz, massive favorites here on the road, 233.5 point total. Nothing too new for OKC. Same guys are out that have been out. No Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, etc. No Sorber. Yeah, man. I mean, SGA is SGA. If you can get to him, he does have a ceiling. Can say the same for some of these other starters. There's really nothing here I'm really clamoring for, though. I will say, in a game with blowout potential, Isaiah Joe historically has been kind of interesting. This season, though, they do have some young guards on the roster. I think they're going to try to get minutes too, so I don't feel as good about that as in seasons past. Just no real love for me from OKC tonight, if I'm being honest with you. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. If I was going to roster anybody on FanDuel, it's probably Chet, just because he could pay off his price quick enough. Other than that,
Mhm.
really no interest.
Yep, good matchup, but again, some blowout risk. Minutes could be flattened out a bit here. Over on the Utah side of things, Kyle Filipowski is in and available. Still no Walker Kessler, obviously. Nothing else too significant to discuss on this team otherwise. No ownership at all. I think this is the lowest owned team on the slate. Obviously, a terrible matchup. I mean, they're all kind of priced where they should be. Laurie, as good as he's been, I mean, I can't pay 8,600 for him when we have some of the other options we have available on this slate. Nurkic's price is up. I mean, Ace Bailey's been playing well, but his price is up. Just I don't know. Everyone's kind of priced out for me here. If there was one play, it might be Collier off the bench. But again, I think we have better value than that. Just not much for me for Utah. Smitty, how about you?
Same. I'd be happy to just not get to anybody here, but I do think Collier is at least in play. That's a good shout. But other than that, just no one.
Yeah, right there with you, man. Maybe if you're playing the late slate, you can mix a couple of these bench guys in. But last game here, 10 o'clock window, we had the Portland Trailblazers taking on the Golden State Warriors, 237.5 point total. Blazers are underdogs here on the road. Some significant injury news, though. We have no Drew, no Damian Lillard, no Scoot Henderson, or Shady on Sharp. That's going to create even more usage and upside for someone like Denny Avida. I like Denny a lot here if you can get to him. One of my favorite pay-ups on this slate. He does feel a bit pricey. I do think he's excellent, though. If this game stays competitive, and I expect it will, I think he's going to be a big reason for that. Donovan Clingan, I believe, Boyle threw on the cover today. He's another center you can mix in. I think he's priced about where he should be. Could see a few more shots here with some of these other guys out. Obviously, Sharp takes a ton. Jeremy Grant probably slides in the starting lineup. We can mix him in. Caleb Love was what 50% home last slate with the same guys out. Put up a complete dud. If you're desperate for value, you can maybe mix him in. But man, I love Denny here. Don't mind mixing in Grant and Klingon. That's probably going to be it. Kamara would be next in line, but tough to trust the bench rotation, especially when most of these guys don't usually I don't know, draw much usage even with other players off the floor. So, Smitty, how you feeling about Portland on the road here in Golden State?
Yeah, pretty much the same thoughts. They are going to play a pretty tight rotation, assuming this game stays close. And Denny's role is really good, so I do have interest in getting to Denny. Jeremy Grant has good positional eligibility as well as like the second highest usage on the team, so have interest there. Klingon's minutes should be pretty secure. With Robert Williams, I think he's available. Assuming he's available, kind of hurts him a little bit, but overall, I still think he's really strong.
Yeah, Williams is listed as questionable. It was on the next page, so I missed that. But again, he's been playing limited minutes, so I think Klingon should be okay here. For Golden State, Jimmy, Draymond, Buddy Hield, all probable. No Kuminga or DeAnthony Melton. Steph Curry, he's been playing well. I mean, I thought he was hurt. It doesn't look like it anymore. I was completely wrong on that one. He looks excellent. Fine getting to him. He just joins that group of guards. There's tons of them tonight. Jimmy Butler, a little bit cheap for his upside. I can say the same for Draymond Green. Those three all look solid. Moses Moody probably going to continue to start here with Kaminga out. I don't love him, honestly. He's just so inconsistent, especially offensively. Curry, Butler, Green all look fine to me, though. Those three I'm pretty comfortable getting to. Smitty, how about you?
Yeah, same three for me. I do prefer Butler just for positionality on FanDuel, but Curry looks good, like a good option as well. So I'm interested in getting to all three.
Nice, man. Yep, right there with you. We did have a question here from Greg I want to get to. Who are your two favorite payups tonight? For me, if I'm on FanDuel, it's Denny first. I'm honestly playing more on DK, though. I'm living in the mid range for the most part. I do like Giddy. I think he looks really good here, especially if Kobe White sits. Um, Again, I'm in the mid range for the most part, man. Who are your favorite payups tonight?
Yeah, a lot of mid range for me as well. I would say Giddy's one of mine, and then I don't know if you'd consider him a pay up, but I like Hawkes, Norm Powell, kind of those range. But I do like Devin Booker some, so I guess I could go there.
Yep, makes sense. All right. Thoughts on TJ McConnell? Any love from you? I just don't know that I can get there, man, with the limited minutes. I know he's a good fantasy producer, but to lock in that value first game seems a little bit off.
Yeah, he'd have to be a little
Any
bit cheap.
TJ? Yeah, I think people are looking at the game logs. He had 34 fantasy points, but that came in 14 minutes. It's just not sustainable. I don't think I can get to him here, especially in a really tough matchup. What position are we favoring on this slate? Guards or forwards? I mean, I think the value is more so at guard. The best value is honestly at center. But Smitty, you have an answer to Jose's question here.
No, pretty much the same. I think we have like some cheap, like the Heat dudes. A lot of them have forward eligibility, so probably lean that way.
Yeah, honestly, the two top value plays on the slate now are Vucevic and Derek Queen, followed by Jaime Jaquez. So front court more than back court. So I guess I got to eat my words. But again, I mentioned I thought we'd see Vucevic climb up to 27 minutes now. He is, I believe, the top value play in the model. Simon Fontecchio right behind him. Um, but yeah, things have adjusted about as expected. Let's go ahead and get these dummy builds in. We do have Jayhawk in the Discord today. For those who don't know, we did just kind of revamp our multi lineup builder. Tons of new features, really smooth, improved UI, all that good stuff. So, no better time to get behind the paywall. But Smitty, let's go ahead and get these dummy builds in. I think we're starting with Vuk over on DK for sure, where we could play two centers. But throw a few other names at me. Queen.
Yeah, we could go Queen, Larson,
Okay, I like it. My
probably
favorite.
another Heat.
Go ahead. I was gonna say Powell, but yeah, I
Yeah,
like a lot of the Heat. Cool, cool. I mean, I think we could afford Giddy. Like, if we're playing all this Miami. Again, we
Kobe White
prefer.
just got ruled out too, so probably Giddy.
Boom. That's a sign. With Whiteout, definitely a boost there for Giddy. In ZH, we are kind of building for cash here, honestly. Like, I think Larson is cash viable. Everything here we have so far, this is kind of your cash core.
Yep.
We got 6,800 for guard forward utility.
Yeah, kind of tough. I like. We could go Nas. He's kind of low on though.
Oh hell yeah! Let's go with our two. Now these two plays here are more tournament plays. We're gonna go Reed and Reed. We got Nas Reed. We got Reed Shepard. Smitty and I are both on those guys ahead of the model and the ownership tonight. Left with 9,700. Let's throw in Sengun. That's a pretty good lineup in
I
my
actually really
opinion.
like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to just hit enter on this if we're being completely honest. All right. So FanDuel is trickier. Like if you're playing Vuk at center, you're giving up that position. How are you feeling over here, man? Is that still a first guy in for you, or do you think you're trying to go a little bit different?
I don't think he's as much as of a jam, but I do think he's the best value on the slate. The only issue is you can only play one. But yeah, I think you just we play him for this purpose at least.
Yep, Vuk. And yeah, Greg, you're asking the same question as ZH. I mean, get some Miami in there. I think Powell is kind of a core play for me. Larson, if you need the value. I mean, I don't know. Which other of these Miami guys should we be prioritizing, Smitty?
Um,
Larson, Powell.
yeah, Hawkes. He's even cheaper on
Yeah.
FanDuel.
Yeah, on FanDuel, Hawkes joins them as kind of a core play. And then if we have all of them in here, again, I think Giddy now is one of the better payups. Denny's right there for me as well. I don't know if we could fit both, but let's throw Giddy in.
Oh yeah,
Let's
Giddy's
throw
cheap
both
on
in.
FanDuel too.
Yeah, right? I mean, again, this is coming together pretty nicely. We got 6,400 left per player. I mean, Davion's cheap. If I will say, if D'Lo's out, I have some interest in Brandon Williams.
Yeah,
Gillespie looks fine. I mean, there's a lot
yeah.
to like
There's
here.
Queen's a little more expensive, still pretty good. Jimmy,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go Queen Jimmy and then see what that leaves
uh,
us at.
Jeremy Grant too.
Yeah, I mean, if we go Grant, we get another expensive guard. So let's see
Yeah,
what that leaves us with. 72. I mean,
kind of
eh,
weird. Yeah,
kind of a weird range, right? My boy Cooper Flag. I do think quickly's safer. Um, in tournaments, I'd maybe go Flag. I do think quickly's the safer play though for kind of building for cash. Um, all right, I think we got Jayhawk jumping in the Discord right now at 6:30. We made crazy good time today, man.
yeah, we did.
Any other last thoughts before we get out of here?
No, just monitor news and then be watching for any Chicago kind of minutes limits. I don't know what their plan is with like a Trey Jones and all of them.
Yeah, you ask and you shall receive. We did just get word that he's limited to 20 to 24 minutes. Probably plays 24, I'd imagine. That's not going to cut into Giddy much. But again, you could probably get to a little bit of AO and Herder now. Not to say either is super safe, but both viable options in that range. Just makes me like Giddy even more. And yeah, guys, as always, keep an eye on not only the news, but the lineups. Things could change quickly, especially on these long slates that start early and they go through the night. Definitely Vuk power. Any thoughts on that one, man? Are you against any Thomas Bryant here? I just don't see it. I
No, I'm
don't. I
not.
don't even think he starts. Yeah,
For a
yeah, man.
second,
With Allen out, just play Mobley at the five, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that one's weird. All right, so yeah, Vuk to answer that one, power. And yeah, guys, I'm actually going to be back on here live at 8 p.m. Eastern doing the UFC show. That card locks tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Going to be live. Hopefully, no technical difficulties, but appreciate you tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the links in the description below. As always, have fun tonight. Good luck. Let's make some money.